Miss Shawna Swetech is a retired hospital nurse. She is a poet and a mixed media visual artist. She is also a health coach, using Reiki, flower essences, intuitive writing, and other integrative practices to assist clients on their healing journeys. Originally from Southern California, she has lived in West Sonoma County for more than 40 years, currently cohabitating in Forestville with her husband Jay, a dog, 1 cat, and 8 laying chickens. Her poetry appears in Rattle, the Healing Muse, Ars Medica, Pulse, the American Journal of Nursing, among other journals and anthologies as well. Shawna's work ranges from the personal to the universal, the body to the body politic, drawing from the deep wells of human nature and the natural world. Her first poetry book, a collection based on her 35 years of her nursing career, is entitled Standing in Their Fire, and this book is due out very soon by Kelsay Books. Shawna believes poetry and art are important medicines for the ills of our modern world. Please welcome my dear friend, my sister in poetry, and the co-host of Rivertown Poets, Miss Shawna Swetech.
Thank you, Monica. Alrighty, let's see. Alright. Well, this was supposed to be my book launch. And when I scheduled the reading 6 months ago, I thought for sure I'd have my book, but unbeknownst to me, since I've never had a book before, there's all kind of little snafus that happen. So I do not have it. So this is my kind of sort of faux soft book launch. but I did make some little postcards that has the cover art from my book that my son, who's a graphic designer, Shawna Swetech, made. And it has a little blurb on the back with my my website. And so you can check back into that. And I'll send a little email out when the launch actually occurs. And I also have, if I don't have your email and you'd like to receive any updates from me, there's also a little sign up for emails. Okay. Let's see. So I started my nursing career in 1985, just when the AIDS epidemic was rolling out. It was very scary times for people, and especially a brand new nurse working night shift down in San Rafael and driving down from almost Guerneville. That was a challenge in so many ways. I worked on medical surgical units with an orthopedic slant, so hip replacements, simple surgeries, medical things like pneumonia, that kind of thing, floor nursing. And then for about 6 years, I was a chemo nurse, so I was helping with cancer patients. As everybody knows, the role of a nurse has a lot of moving pieces, and it is challenging, it is wonderful, it is stressful, it is emotional, and helping people through fear, pain, death and dying, just some really amazing work that I'm so glad that I was able to do for people. I started writing poetry in the early 2000s and came to realize how incredibly healing it was for me, trying to deal with all of these kind of fraught times that I was having to go through. And when I started sharing my work, I started realizing that it was somehow helpful for other people to hear it. So I retired 5 years ago in fall of 2020, just when the pandemic was getting in full swing. I was at my full retirement and I went, why am I exposing myself to, I don't know what. We'd already had COVID once through our house, so anyway, I decided to leave. Didn't really want to, wasn't sure what my life was going to be like if I wasn't at the bedside. As it turned out, I just kind of embraced the writing community and started doing more poetry. But I'm always going to be a nurse. I'm always going to be a caregiver, and so I'm not at a hospital, but I'm taking my love and healing out into the world with my poetry and with my integrative practices. So the poems that I'm going to share tonight are based on things that happened to me and to other people during my nursing career. Nothing made up. This is all real. But the details have been changed to protect people's privacy. And some of them are a little intense, so I'm kind of going to lead us in, and we're going to do a deeper dive, and then I'm going to walk you back out the shallow end. The first poem is the title poem of the book. It's called In Their Fire. 8 a.m. rounds, stethoscope in hand, the endless rooms of patients, broken boned or cancer filled, their fear and pain, a bleeding river I can never staunch. To be a nurse is to be in their fire, the diseased, incised, dying. I didn't know what I was signing up for 35 years ago, the shift after shift, familiar scent of sorrow, theirs and mine. I didn't know how willingly I'd share their burden. I didn't know how willingly I'd burn. What I love at work. The morning stethoscope ritual, lifting it from around my neck, warming its bell on my hands so the patient won't jump, inserting the gray rubber tips into my ears, opening the back of the patient's gown, then resting my left hand on their shoulder. Take a deep breath, I say, then auscultate lungs fields between scapulae moving down the spine, one side to the other, the tidal flow of critical gases exchanging, the blow and breach of the chest's twin whales, inhaling, exhaling. I listen for bibasilar crackles of heart failure, coarse congestion of pneumonia, wheeze of asthma, egophony, rattles, bronchi, stridor, or silence from emphysema, cancer, a lobectomy, the overlay of intestinal digestive borborygmy, the clicks and gurgles of peristalsis echoing through the belly. All the while, I'm marveling at the body's largest organ, noting skin color, tattoos, scars, tan lines, wrinkles, hair, visible ribs, soft, fleshy rolls. Thousands of people, thousands of bodies. What I love is the brief, breathtaking intimacy of eavesdropping on organs performing their moment-to-moment miracles. Good medicine. Today, dashing room to room on our busy medical unit, I fell in love again with the calling of caregiving, with each patient receiving our medicine, remedies to cool the fires of sepsis, to make the dragons of pain lie still, to conscript red and white blood cells swelling their fighting ranks. I fell in love with the physical body, finite and frail, and how illness and breakings can ignite a path to emotional and spiritual transformation. Like when I held the hand of a patient crying, awaiting cancer surgery. Sitting on the edge of her bed, I said, let's take 5 breaths together. Inhaling and exhaling the leaden air, we held each other's gaze deeply, one human being to another, the light slowly shifting in our eyes. Sometimes the best prescription isn't a shot or a pill. It's the good medicine of kindness, of care, of love. Progressing into deeper waters. This poem is called Rust. Color of oxidized metal or the brown of fungus on a rose leaf. Stainless steel won't corrode, neither will plastic, but once I ran my finger over a spot of powdery bronze on a cast iron skillet, marveling how the color stained my skin. Then, decades later, that rotation in the ER during nursing school when a young man came in hemorrhaging from his mouth, a few days post-tonsillectomy, spitting copious volumes of blood into a pink wash basin. We ran his gurney down the hall full speed, banging through the metal doors of the OR for emergent surgery before he bled out. Afterward, I couldn't stop trembling, had to step outside into the cool morning before helping clean up the exam room. The burgundy splattered walls, the fishing of paper towels from the basin of coagulating, still warm blood. I'll never forget the sickening glisten of floating fat, the blood's metallic odor like copper or rusty iron, the large, soft clots moving in the thick liquid against my gloved hand, the roiling horror of that very close call. Next two poems are a subject that's personal to my heart, and these were some of the most difficult patients I had to deal with, and because of my own family history with addiction and alcoholism. And this poem's entitled Drowning. In the break room, air conditioners, shh, 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 like waves rolling, crashing, not like the sounds from the patient I just left, a back of the throat gurgle, every exhalation like a breaching whale, not like yesterday, her last coherent words to me. Nurse, am I going to die? Someone, please tell me what makes a person drink until their body drowns in its own poison, when the hand bringing death to the lips could stop but won't. Tell me why that hand keeps on and on until comatose and liver failed, a 40-year-old becomes a beached shell on a white sheet shoreline. That was a hard one. Lifelines. Though it's too late, liver fatty and double-sized, I spike the poly bag with clear tubing, watch the white 0.22 micron filter fill with packed red cells. And though the whites of his eyes are yellow as two risen suns, I plug into the IV port, set the infusion pump with rate and volume, run blood into his vein per protocol, knowing as soon as it's finished, he'll leave AMA, binge, and be right back in the ER. Excusing myself, I cross the hall and slip into the supply room, quietly close the heavy door so no one will see me crying for this young man. His addictive life, sick with sorrows another transfusion won't treat. I pull a scrap of paper from my uniform pocket and pin a poem prayer for metanoia. May my words be carrying hands, a lifeline of lines pulling you safely home. A little deeper in now. Some of the most challenging patients and situations were helping people pass over and helping families deal with their dying loved ones. Letting him go. As a people, we abhor finality. Take the unresponsive patient in room 312, skin stretched like cellophane over bones thinned with unheard truth. The family says, do everything. So doctors order new meds, another too late CAT scan. We poke him with needles for more blood tests, thread a weighted feeding tube into his nostril and down to his looping bowels. No one sees the shadows of liminal light falling all around the room, or his subtle symptoms of preparation. No one notices his hands, prayer posed in the center of his chest, hands that clearly say, I am dying, I am dying, I am dying. And the last one in that little group is called Rituals. She lies on the hospital bed next to the stilled body, murmurs, I love you, darling, I love you, darling, kisses his cooling cheek over and over. Their two adult daughters hold hands perched on brown folding chairs, every fiber straining toward them. And though I recognize the skin's wax pallor, I center my stethoscope on his chest anyway, where the loved up should be, but isn't. All the air squeezes from the room as they wait for me to utter what no one ever wants to hear. Those 7 little nuclear bombs. His heart has stopped. I'm so sorry. Back at the nurse's station, the wife sits across from me as I call the doctor. Pushing the cottony curls from her face, she begins the new widow's ritual. reminiscing about the deceased, how they met in high school, together over 60 years, the wonderful father he was. When she sobs, "I can't imagine life without him," my stomach tightens, a sure sign I'm slipping into sorrow's thick bog. But no, I can't. The mortician's coming. There's paperwork to finish. I have to phone the organ donor hotline. The ER is calling. Report for my next admission, coming soon as his room's been cleaned. Breathe slow and deep, I tell myself. Focus on her silk blouse, the rich colors of turquoise and emerald green. Watch the distracted motion of her hands, twisting a wet Kleenex into the shape of a mushroom cloud. If my tears brim, I'll hide my hands under the counter and press my fingernails of my right hand into the palm of the left, just beneath my thinning platinum band. Okay, enough of those. So another really interesting and hard aspect of being a nurse is dealing with the corporatization, industrialization of healthcare. And over the course of my 35 years, it got tighter and tighter with less and less people expected to do more and more work. So we're going to go there a couple times. This poem is called Snowblind. Avalanche dream, heavy breakage of trees, boulders ripped from their footings, chunks of ice bouncing past as a swirling white mass picks up speed. I'm running, but can't stay ahead of it. Lungs burn, tears stream from the effort, the strain. Glazed in sweat, I wake up to the blare of alarm clock, hurriedly dress and drive to the hospital. Time speeds into the day. It's busy. We're short-staffed again. One patient has to go for a test, has pain, needs medicine, while another has to be readied for early surgery. She's scared, needs pain meds, pre-op teaching, a guided imagery CD to help her cope. Another detoxing and crying. Someone else can't breathe, coughs blood. The doctor must be notified stat. Next room, a patient returns from inconclusive tests. She's worried, needs medicine for her nerves. They all want me to listen to their stories. Why the drinking started after her firstborn left for college. Now the last is about to go. How long that man's been waiting for new lungs. Says he's sorry someone must die first. Check clock, pass meds, better hurry. Discharge orders for another. I have to take the urinary catheter out first. Will she be able to pee on her own? Will pills work for her fractured femur after I discontinue her morphine drip? Now another patient's going home, needs teaching, and I haven't started charting, rated the patient's acuity, or reassessed pain. Call lights, flash, everyone needs something, a bedpan, a lunch tray, the discharge nurse, a family member, the lab tech, all want to talk to me right away. A doctor demands I attend bedside rounds right now. I'm late. I'm running hard as I can. The hallway is empty, everyone's busy, no one can help. I have to use a bathroom, my mouth is dry. Where is my water? Any minute now, the break nurse will come to send me to lunch. And I don't have the rest of this poem. What the heck? But anyway, as it turns out, I made a med error. And the whole thing was like this deja vu of this dream I had that happened that day. And it sucked. And I'm sorry.
We'll have to get the book.
You have to read my book. Yes. That's what I get for having to, the last minute, I've got too many poems, I better start weeding out. Well, I weeded out all right, didn't I? Anyway, okay, enough of that. Okay, this next poem, I'm going to have some help. Monica's going to help me read. This poem is called Staff Meeting Circumlocution. And these are actual notes from a staff meeting that I took after they started this new thing where instead of using the nurse's judgment on how many hours of care a patient needed, it was all switched to computer. So it was based on what you charted, what the doctor's orders were, blah, blah, and it generated this random number, and of course it never was enough. So nurses are trying to have a meeting to get this thing fixed. So these are the notes. Okay. I'm going to be the nurse, and she's going to be the manager. She's the bad guy. We need more help to care for the patients.
Your numbers don't call for more help.
But the numbers come from our computer charting, and we can't chart because we're trying to answer call lights, give meds, and get patients up for meals.
Patients aren't getting their teeth brushed 3 times a day, and the hospital's patient satisfaction score is dropping.
But we can't give satisfying care if we don't have enough people to give the care.
Well, the financing department dropped our budget to 6 patients a day, even though we average 16. Gosh. Let's see, where are we? We're trying to get emergency money because the budget won't change for a year. Right now, we can't hire more people, and 36 of the staff are out on medical leave. So, are you interested in working overtime? Can you stay late? Can you come in on Saturday?
But what about work-life balance? Care isn't safe or good coming from exhausted people who are working all this overtime day after day without enough help. We need more staff to care for the patients.
Oh, I did. I thought
One more.
Oh my gosh.
Your numbers don't care.
Oh, you didn't change it. Oh, where are we here?
Your numbers don't call for more help.
I thought we already did that.
No.
Your numbers don't call for more help.
But we can't get our numbers up because we can't chart. We're too busy taking care of the patients. and this is a haibun, so here's the little haiku at the end. Birds droop on thin twigs. Rain dries before hitting ground. Useless summer squall. Okay, just a couple more. Now we're paddling toward the shallow end. Be your own good doctor. Take the healer's oath to first do no harm to yourself. Become a doctor of downward dog, of psoas stretch, of hands in the soil, organic garden greens, and fresh salt air. Take daily the good medicine of smile, your teeth free of nicotine and wine stain. Be a doctor of prayer hands and morning daimoku, of food as medicine, of plant-based, of echinacea and elderberry, and tincture of a good night's sleep. Poultice of sunshine and forest shinrin yoku. Make remedies of kimchi and kraut, lap cat and hen house. Heal with word and watercolor, glue stick and journal paper, because who better to nurture the abundant earth of you than you? Alrighty, we're good. Okay, I got one more. The heart of the matter. Because I was born into wonder, and morning flutters wind and bird song. Because I have grown children, a life of fruit and weeds, have been a nurse for the young and the aged, and many times have closed the eyes of the dead. I believe with every cell what my hospice patient told me, love is all there is. But some days I feel like a seed caught in layers of drift and eddy, a swirl in worry's bright heat. When the carousel of it all wakes me in the night, I step outside into starlight spattering the night's inky sea. Under those perfect, infinite fires, I cast the magnetic field of my heartbeat outward, concentric circles sparking and spinning in every direction. A body prayer to every living thing, for wellness, for peace, for love. Thank you for listening.